Hi, I'm Bob Dopel, president and owner of Chicago Scenic Studios. I have the privilege of introducing Deanna Siller, architect from Gensler's office in DC. We've actually Chicago Scenics had the privilege of doing 2 projects recently with Gensler. We rebranded the John Hancock Observatory, now rebranded 360 Chicago for Montparnasse, and then building from the ground up Liberty One Plaza Observatory in Philadelphia. Gensler is the architect of record. BRC Creative Group, Chicago Scenic then worked for the design build contract. I want to bring her in. Her theme or her purpose at Gensler is understanding how design can impact business performance. If you could welcome Deanna, please.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Bob. All right, I'll just wait for my presentation to come up. Fantastic. So as Bob had mentioned, my name is Deanna Siller. I'm actually here from DC. I last year was honored and enthusiastic to be a speaker at SATE, but in the storytelling segment. And so this year, I remain honored and even more enthusiastic to be the chair of the architecture segment. And so when you think about the idea of risk-taking, I think often you can sometimes be labeled as an outlaw or even maybe an icon. And what I'm really excited about is the next segment of speakers I think are just that. They're definitely, their work is admired by many. They question the unquestionable, they raise the bar, and they definitely challenge the status quo. But before I introduce you to them, I'd love to talk to you just a little bit about my particular point of view on taking a risk and what that looks like and the benefit of doing so. And I believe it all starts with the notion and the idea of being a fearless thinker. And for me, a fearless thinker is someone who, chases rainbows and unhinges their inner geek and just allows themselves the time and even the luxury to think. And why not? What's to lose if you're just thinking? And in today's world, I think we're all just so busy and so crazy that sometimes we don't even afford ourselves the luxury to do that. And I think it's one of the greatest gifts I can give myself is just to allow myself to go there. And sometimes I even think upside down, and I think I get some of my best ideas from doing so. But like any fearless thinker, I think it's really important that you have a mantra. And my mantra just happens to be a rap lyric from a Lil Wayne song that's called Sky's the Limit. And so the lyric is, I'm probably in the sky, flying with the fishes, or maybe in the ocean with the pigeons. See, my world is different. And so I love the idea of embracing different and again, allowing yourself to go there and to think differently and to push yourself on a regular basis. And when you're kind of on this journey of being a risk taker or challenging the status quo, I think it's really important that you allow yourself to have a long leash. To don't just look at a single frame, but really understand that for me, when I think of an idea, it truly is a vision. And so in order to achieve a vision, allow yourself this long leash to get there and really focus on the underlying meaning and the intent and the purpose of why you're doing it, as opposed to the failures that you may come across. One of my favorite examples of the idea of a kind of pursuing your idea is the Dyson story. And so here you have James Dyson. He had 5,127 prototypes and some people would even call those failures, right? In over 5 years before he finally was able to design the first bagless vacuum cleaner. But I loved his story, and I love that he really never gave up on his idea, and he never gave up on his passion, even though there were many risks involved in doing so. So I also think it's extremely important to expand your comfort zone. And so if you think about this idea or this notion of the blue circle above here represents what your comfort zone is today, even almost as if it were a rubber band. But you stretch it. And what you find, which is so interesting, is that you stretch a rubber band, right? If you stretch your comfort zone, sure, it might snap back and sting sometimes, it might even break. But at the end of the day, from stretching it and stretching it, you actually now have a new, greater comfort zone that you're working within. And then you continue to do that. And before you know it, your comfort zone has grown and grown and grown to a point that risk-taking just becomes, it becomes more innate to who you are, and it becomes easier. You have an easier appetite in order to do it. If I were to say that risk had a sister or had a brother, I would say it's change. And what's so interesting to me about change, when you really think about it, is that it's fundamentally rooted in the desire to be better. Right? To make yourself better, to be a better thinker, to be more innovative. And so I think it's okay. It's really okay to say, hey, I want to grow. I want to be better. And so in order to do so, right, I take these risks to get there. And I think risk-taking is really a skill. It's not for everyone. Not everyone is really prepared. Not everyone, it's comfortable for them to put themselves out there and to be on the tightrope, right? And to get out there and take risk. But I believe that the greatest strength is when you do it together. When you hold hands with people and you just jump in. And you surround yourself, right, with great people. There are believers, there are followers, there are leaders, there are game changers, and there are even outlaws and icons.